Good morning. Good morning, everyone. We'll hang out here for a couple minutes, allow folks to join us before we get started. Morning, Shadowhunter. Lots of gaps. Gaps in gold, gaps in crude oil. Trying to understand what the cause of that is at the moment. So maybe there might have been a change in contract, but that's not the case. Okay. Yeah, I have no clue. What's I thought maybe it might have been rollover, something along those lines. But any case, we'll just roll with what the market is providing us. But before we get started, let's review our risk disclosure. Okay. And here's our risk disclosure. So just want to inform everyone that the content and that's about to be distributed by the market trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided herein is intended as investment advice and solicit to offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Use of this information is to be used at your own risk. The company, its partners, representative agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of this information. Future trading does contain a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor. An investor could lose potentially all or more their an investor's initial investment. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used when trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, so now that we've gotten the risk disclosure out of the way, guys, go ahead and we'll go ahead and take a look at the news and see what the news has to offer here. So we'll take a look at that before we actually dive into the markets. All right, so here we are. We have some note yield information coming out here. This actually should be out already, I believe. Maybe a little bit later. 11:30 Eastern time. We have some note yield information coming out, as well as 1 p.m. So a couple of bits of news that could move the market. And then obviously we have our normal option expiration happening at 10 a.m. That could impact certainly the crude oil and the gold markets for any option expiration that might have some of these items that we track exposure. Okay, so not I would say not relatively light in news here, although for the equities, this I think is a heavy earnings week. Okay, a lot of earnings being reported this week, so that could also impact the markets. Okay, so that's something to be aware of as well. Okay, so let's move on to the charts because there's actually some things here that I think are worth discussing. So let's see right there. Okay, so here we have the gold market. I'm going to go ahead and remove some of my levels here. Okay, just going to doing some analysis here. We'll leave that for now. Good morning, Antonio. Buenos dias. Let's go ahead and move on to start with the daily. Okay, so you can see the daily. We got, I don't know what that candle is. That seems like a little anomaly here, guys. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, all right. So we look at we're as we review the daily chart in the gold. I guess you can maybe of late we've been a bit in sort of a consolidation range. I guess trying to decide exactly. Let's see. Make sure I got this. Okay. Last few days, I think we've been in a little bit of a consolidation range. But still very much in a bullish pattern here, right? So as we review from left to right, we can see that we continue to get higher highs and higher lows in this market. Hasn't really happened in the last few days, but nothing indicating that we are reversing at this level. We haven't broken any sort of price structure to the downside. So I would say that daily chart is still indicating that there's more upside to this market. The positive DI is waning here a little bit, but we have a strong ADX momentum indicator to the upside. Our volume delta still indicates that there's still a fair number of buyers in this market. Okay, and buyers are exceeding the sellers. Okay, so daily chart, I don't see here anything in here that would indicate to me that there's any major reversal in the works. It's certainly possible. We are at all-time highs. Certainly possible. I mean, this 2,700 level looks like a very appetizing level, for a participation in this move. Okay, to the upside. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, and 4-hour chart is telling us more of the same. I'll go ahead and turn off settlement price here for a second. So like I said, we've been in this kind of overlapping price action here since I guess Monday of last week. Okay, we've been in this kind of range. So nothing, no new major highs or lows here. Now, what's interesting for me is the fact that we did manage to break above structure here to the upside, nice W pattern, and then we end up getting a gap open to the downside, which is kind of odd. This is not what I would have expected given the price action. Would have expected a continuation move, maybe a little bit of a pullback, back to the prior level of resistance here, right above that, and then a continuation. So that is a little bit odd. Okay, why price opened below here? So in any case, that in and of itself is an indication that there's fair amount of selling pressure. There wasn't really any interest in buying above, or the starting price was not attractive. So considering 82% was even before open. So in any case, like I said, this gap here to the downside could indicate further downside pressure in this market. Okay, so we'll have to see how this plays out. Okay, but if we do get a close, I would say a close below 27.32 then I think, we can easily come down to 2,700. Okay. Yeah. Long. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like I said, this gap open down is not in it for me. It's not an indication long. It's more for an indication short. Um, it's, as you know, that's kind of what I'm seeing. Okay. Now, what I also am seeing is there's quite a bit of overlap here in the positive and negative indicator. Oh, okay, got you, reading Tiger. Okay. So we have a lot of overlap in positive and negative DI here with a relatively waning ADX indicator. So the tight overlap of positive and negative DI, changing hands almost at every turn, is an indication that we are in range. Okay, that there isn't really any definitive direction in the market right now. Okay, and we are also at a low end of our ADX, so not a lot of momentum in any direction in the market. Okay, for gold at the moment. Okay, looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Again, we are waffling between around VWAP. We still managed to stay above this 233-day EMA, so that gives us a little bit of hope that maybe that there's still some buyers in the market. But technically we are still below this daily VWAP. Okay, but we are above our 233-day EMA. Okay, so as I'm looking at this on the ADX level, I see that the ADX is starting to pick up a little bit. I'm seeing the negative DI kind of wane, but I'd like to see the positive DI not also kind of be declining, but I'd also like to see maybe a little bit of a spike, and ultimately what I'd like to see is a definitive close above and remain above. Okay, because you can see here that we have a lot of overlap between the positive and negative DI here. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up our ADR tool. We see that we're kind of in the middle of the range on our ADR set on our average daily range. We're going to go ahead and open up ASR here in a moment here. So ASR is also relatively in range, although appears that the ASR is right around our is also right at our 233-day EMA. We seem to be wanting to get maybe possibly above this VWAP, but I'm a little how you say, suspicious about this VWAP because of the fact that we have price overlapping on both sides of VWAP. Right, it's not sloping in a positive or negative direction. Okay, so it's kind of flat. Right, we're basically flat. Right, so I don't know if I can really read into too much to what VWAP is saying at the moment. I don't is given the flat slope of this. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's see, open up, maybe bring up my levels here. See, locate them here. Locate my levels. So here we are. Okay, so here are our levels that we'll be tracking. All right, so oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so here are levels that we'll be tracking in this market. And let's see, the next thing I want to draw here is our fixed range volume profile from Friday. Okay, so we'll go here all the way to here. All right, so our red area is our value area. It's the area that I want to not necessarily participate in entries, but so we're right at, we're actually just inside value. Okay, price is just inside value. So if we do get a close inside value, that could lead us to a potential value area acceptance opportunity in this market. Okay, so I'm just going to draw in our, let's say maybe change that to a blue. Okay, blue. All right. So yeah, if we do manage to close inside, and I would say that this may provide us an opportunity for price to traverse the full range of value. Okay. Yeah, GC at value. Correct, Sunil. So if we do get a close inside value, right? If we do get a close inside value, then there's a good possibility that we could traverse through the entire range of value. Okay, or at least back to the highs of London here. The next thing I'm going to draw here is I'm going to draw my anchor VWAP at the start of London. Okay, so that's going to be kind of another indicator that I'm going to use. So this one actually is sloping. So if I do get price above my anchor VWAP, again, this could provide me a value area acceptance. Now, if I do not get a close, right? If price does not close inside value, then maybe what I should be expecting is another leg lower in gold. Okay, simple as that. So right now we're at an area of decision. The only thing that's remaining here for me to add to my chart is my initial balance. Okay, I've kind of captured here the 100% extension of the current initial balance range. Okay, so we'll see what the initial balance range offers. Okay, so right now, really nothing to do other than to see that the fact that we are indeed at value area low. Okay, as was mentioned in chat. Yeah, I'm actually starting the anchor VWAP based on London. Okay, the start of London is what I'm using it for. Okay, so you can see here price is technically below this anchor VWAP, which could lead to another leg lower. Okay, if price remains both below anchor VWAP and below value area low. So that's probably my first, I guess, hypo, is to focus our attention on that aspect. Okay, the fact that we are around the value. So we'll see how this current candle closes in the next 10 minutes or so. Okay, and if it does indeed close below and maybe starts breaking some structure here to the downside, say below 27.44, then that could provide us a leg lower. Okay, maybe down to ADR or ASR below us. Okay, so that's kind of, let's kind of maybe double check some of these values I have here. So we have 2565.6 is our average session range high. So we'll modify that. And then we have, what do they have here? 2740 is our average session range low. Okay. And then, all right. So we have, what else? We have value area high coming in at 2759. Yeah, that seems to be in order. We have our value area low coming in at 2745 ish. Okay. We have our point of control at 2750. So yeah, so these levels look okay to me. So like I said, right now I'm kind of focused in on seeing how this price closes. If we do get our price to close, maybe say below this maybe the bottom of initial balance here, then I would say that we have a reasonable chance of maybe heading lower in this market. Okay. If we do break above this anchor VWAP and maybe break above, say 27.47, then maybe we come back and revisit the highs that were established in London. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now in the gold market. All right. So I'm going to be, again, this is Monday. There's still a lot of week to be trading. I'm going to be patient and wait for my levels, wait for confirmation of them, wait for price to tell me what direction it wants to take, and then execute accordingly. Okay. So like I said, right now it feels like gold wants to head lower. Okay. If we do get a close we have settlement. Oh, settlement as 27.54. Let's see. Open up my settlement indicator. We have, yeah, my settlement is a little bit different. I got 27.60 up here. 27.54 would put it down here someplace. I'm looking at the continuous contract. Let me, yeah. So, yeah, in any case, if settlement's up here, 27.54.6, price is still below settlement. So that's also an indication that we are a bit bearish in the market. Okay. All right. I think that's all I want to, I guess, share with about gold. Pause here if there are any questions, but I would say that right now it looks a bit bearish to me. And like I said, if I do a, sort of little Fibonacci analysis, where can this price go? Well, it could easily go down to 27.30, which is at the low end of this area here. So that's kind of the target I have for this, which is pretty healthy. Okay. So we'll have to see what this candle does. If on the 30-minute, do we get a, solid close below value area low, as well as this anchor VWAP that could lead us to maybe some further pressure, buying or selling pressure to the downside. Okay. All right. All right. So now that I've gotten through the gold, we'll move on to the crude oil market here. All right. So looking at the crude oil market, since that's the next market that's going to be available here in about 6 minutes, we're going to go ahead and remove some of my drawings here. Remove drawings. Shut down some of my indicators. And we're going to focus 100% of our attention on just price. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and open up the daily. Okay. So again, similar to gold, we had a gap down. I don't know exactly what I was, like I said, I just got up and was trying to understand why the gap, right. I don't know, it could easily be a result of the Middle East, but you would think that with all that's going on in the Middle East, that we wouldn't get a gap down. We would probably get a gap up. So this seems to be a little counter to what might be going on here. So you would think that with all the events of the Middle East, that we would actually not get a gap down. So, but in any case, we have to trade what we see, right? And what we see is some pressure to the downside. Okay. I also what I do understand with gaps is that these gaps eventually get filled. Okay. Right. These gaps eventually get filled. Will they get filled today? Maybe not, but at some point in the future, this gap will get filled. Can't tell you when, but it will get filled. So we know that this 70 level, okay, this 70 level is going to be an important level sometime in the future. Okay. So daily chart, okay, we got a very definitive move to the downside. Okay. Can't get any more definitive than a gap. Okay. We see our negative DI spike very strong to the upside. And we have our volume delta also telling us that there is some sell volume to the downside. Okay. Looking at the 4-hour chart, again, same kind of thing we have here is we have a gap. Okay. We went from 72 or close to 72 down to an open of 69. Okay. That's almost a $3 move to the downside. That's not common. Okay. So, but again, similar gap, similar view. There seems to be a fair amount of pressure to the downside, right? So we have our negative DI cross above our positive, and it's met with some momentum to the upside. Okay, momentum is also positive, indicating that there is a fair amount of pressure in this move to the downside. Okay. All right. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay. 30-minute chart. Okay. We have our settlement price up here, up above. Okay. Around 71.69. We have our gap. Okay. Which is probably going to create havoc in our ADR here. right? So ADR, we are already below our ADR here, and look, it almost feels like this is going to be continue sustain auction to the downside. Okay, so there's our ADR. We're going to go ahead and add our levels to this chart. Okay, here are levels. Okay, so just going to spot check some of these here in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and open up my fixed range volume profile here. So we'll locate the start of Friday. Okay, it's not there. Start Friday here around at this time. Okay, there's Friday, and then the close here. Okay, so we had a very relatively narrow value range. Okay, and like I said, we are well below value. Okay, so again, it's again a little bit of a anomaly here. So it's so in any case, I did have my levels here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so our supply zones is way up here, but technically we haven't really tested that zone. Okay, we have settlement price at a similar level. Okay, we have our value area high also at say 71. Let's see, 71.91. Value area low coming in at 71.27. Point of control right around the same price as our settlement price. Okay, which makes sense. Okay. Looks like the market just opened, so we're going to go ahead and open up initial balance here. Okay, there's our initial balance range. We're going to go ahead and open and change that to a different color here. So we're going to make that yellow. Okay. There's our initial balance range, relatively narrow, but we just opened here. Okay. So again, what to make of this market? Well, this is the top of London. London was also equally as bearish. Okay. So let's see here. Anchored VWAP. We'll have to select this level here. We can see that price remains both below our daily and anchored VWAP. Okay. So again, all signs indicate that we are headed lower. Okay. In this market, everything that we follow outside of the initial balance range, which is yet to establish, is indicating that there's lower prices in store for crude oil. Now, the question is where can this stop? Well, yeah, absolutely, Alejandro. No doubt about it. Okay, I agree 100% that going short at this level would be paying retail. Right now, the question that we have to ask ourselves is where we would like to participate. And if we want to be patient and wait for price to maybe come back to say something like anchored VWAP, right, or this prior level of support, then that's what we need to do as traders, right? I agree 100% that this would be paying retail. This would be a retail short, no doubt. But I'm not really seeing any signs of buying here. Okay, volume delta negative. Our ADX indicator also negative. So if we're not keen on paying retail, well, then we need to be patient and wait for an area where we would be willing to do that. Yeah, we need to be patient. Absolutely. Okay. So maybe a retest to 67.17, or maybe a pullback up to 67.58 to this anchor VWAP would be kind of the path forward. Okay, because yes, this would be paying retail. Okay, all right. So yeah, so right now, again, what I was going to take a peek at is, well, where can this go? Well, if I do this Fibonacci kind of extension, then I would take a look at this swing, all right, and do the pullback and see, okay, well, where can this market go? Well, it can easily get to 66.59, and chances are we'll get to 65.90 94 before we make any sort of significant move to the upside. That's just based on measuring this swing, where price could fall, okay, before we see any sort of significant swing to the upside, okay. This is kind of what I guess would be we also call kind of a measured move, right? This would be a measured move to the downside, okay. So this area here at 65.96 would seem kind of as a logical area maybe for price to reverse away from. Until then, well, we have to go with what the price is doing at the moment, and it's telling us that the path of least resistance is down. Okay. All right. So I think that's pretty much what I have for crude oil. Okay. If I'm interested to take a long, well, this is not I mean, I wouldn't obviously be paying a little bit of a discount, but I need price to break above, say, 67.62 or 67.70 before I can really embrace the longs. I need price to get above anchor VWAP. I need price maybe even potentially to get above my ADR here before I'm willing to embrace any sort of longs in this market. Seems like it's trying to kind of maybe rally here a little bit. I see some buying coming in. Our volume delta is still negative, but I do see a wick on the bottom of this. So there is some buyers that are stepping in here a little bit. But in order for me to embrace the buyers, I need price to get above, let's just say 67.65. Okay. I need price to break some structure to the upside. Otherwise, I'm bearish. Okay. All right. Before we move on to the equity market, I see a big disparity between the number of participants and the likes. So I guess there's a fair number of you who are new to the session. So I would encourage you guys to if what you've heard so far has supported your analysis or supported your understanding of what's going on the markets, I would encourage you to hit the like button. If you want to be alerted of these kinds of sessions in the future, I would also encourage you to hit the subscribe button. So yeah, just want to kind of do my part in encouraging you guys to encourage me to continue to do these sessions on a daily basis. Okay. All right. So now with that said, as you guys kind of work through that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the NASDAQ. Okay. And we're going to do the same kind of thing here. All right. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and turn everything off. We'll leave this volume profile up. We're going to start with the daily chart. Okay. And ask ourselves the question, what is the market trying to accomplish? Well, the same gap down we got in crude oil and gold, we have a gap up in the equities. So does that mean we have another leg higher in the equities? Okay. We do have, like I said before, there's a fair amount of earnings happening this week. We have a gap open, which again indicates that maybe there is some strength to maybe another swing high, another move higher. And if I do my extension tool analysis here, and I take the most recent swing, well, I could see that we have a target of, say, almost 21,000 on this. Okay, that we could get to based on the current structure. Okay, so yeah, daily very much I would say bullish. Okay, and we have a gap up. Okay. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart. Again, similar view that we're seeing. We're right at the 61.8% extension of this most recent swing here that we did. We did some analysis on this swing, right? This swing down here, we're already kind of exceeding it here a little bit. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Okay. So this looks like a little bit of a corrective pattern. Okay. For those Elliott wave aficionados in the room. So we got an AB, it looks like an ABC. Okay. And we're seeing some price, get above some structure here to the upside. Okay, so right now I would say on both the daily and the 4-hour, it appears that we are very much bullish. All right, looking at the 30-minute chart, looking at the ADX is really not giving us a strong indication that it wants to head higher. Okay, we the our positive DI has just barely kind of made it above the negative DI, so that's working in the favor of the bulls. I'm looking at the volume delta. Volume delta, we had a little push to the upside, but then the follow-up volume was not there, so there was no follow through in that move, right, to the upside delta wise. Okay, so let's expand this here a little bit further. We are what I will say is that we are inside value from Friday. Usually when we're inside value of a prior day, that indicates to me that we're probably going to be more in range in today's market, maybe inside this value area range, maybe for today. So the initial balance, or the market has yet to open here in about 20 minutes or so. We'll go ahead and add our levels of interest here. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, to add our levels. Okay, the first thing we're going to take a look at is our ADR, average daily range. We can see that we're right on top of it. Okay, to the upside. Okay, and we've already reversed away from it once. Okay, so the question is, can we break above it? Then maybe there are some opportunities that we could take to the upside. Otherwise, if we remain below it, then my view is that we are going to continue lower. Okay, let's see, trying to locate my arrow tool. Yeah, okay, so something like this. As long as we stay below this anchor VWAP, then not anchor VWAP, sorry, this ADR high, then chances are we could potentially reverse here. Now, if we get a new high, now I'm not going to jump on the trade right away, right? What I'd like to see is to get a new high and then participate on the pullback of that same level that it breached, and then look to enter for a long. Okay, so as Alejandro mentioned earlier, I'm not a big fan of paying retail. Okay, I'm a discount buyer, right? As much as I can, as much as the market will allow me to buy at a discount. Okay, so if we are going to get a push higher, I want to see the push higher, and I want the level that it left to hold for me to participate long. Okay, if this level is going to hold, then obviously we do not want to see price get above the ADR, right? If this indeed is going to reverse lower, we do not want to see price make a new high. Okay, we want to see price stay here and move lower, and ultimately we want it to break below let's say 20,605 or say 20,600. Okay, if this is indeed going to be in the cards. Now, the thing that causes me a bit of caution here, guys, is that we are in value from Friday. Okay, so we could be bouncing around here. Okay, with no real direction. And so we need to be careful that this lack of direction doesn't, kind of, cut us up here too much. Okay. So we need to be patient, we need to be patient and let the market tell us what direction it wants to go. And then we need to, from there, look to see how we can best participate in that move. Okay. We don't want to take a preemptive execution without a clear idea of the direction of the market. Okay, so let's continue with our analysis here. Just kind of double confirm our average daily range high is 20,665. That seems to be in order. We have 20,387. 387.50. Maybe a little bit lower. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's our average daily range low. We're going to go ahead and open up our ASR, but we're going to probably adjust this to London for the moment here because New York has not opened yet. Okay. So at London, we have 20,742 as our average session range high. So 20,742 is our average session range high. 742. Okay. And average session range low is 20,519. So we'll change that to 519 here. Let's see. That's 519. Yeah. 519. Average session range low. Okay. So that's kind of what we're seeing. So right now, again, I would say we need to be careful with the NASDAQ equity market just because we are inside value. We could be in range. And so when we are in range, we need to be even more, how we say, more particular about the locations that we participate, okay, in the market. All right. We need to be very much at the extremes of swings, okay, to really participate in the market and basically until we get a breakout in either direction. Okay. Until then, we need to focus on extremes of swings. All right. Buy lows, sell highs. Okay. This particular range, while maybe good for maybe some scalps trades, is not really directional at this point. Okay. But if I had to err on one direction, guys, given what I'm seeing, then I would say that we need to see if we can find a location where we could participate long. Okay, that would be most aligned with what I'm seeing. You can see here that we've received a gap here. Okay, now just because I'm long does not mean I want to pay retail. Okay, means that I need to find a location where I can participate long and manage my risk. Okay, all right. Any question? If there's no questions on the NASDAQ, we're going to go ahead and move on to the ES. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove or hide some of our indicators for the moment here. Okay, and we'll take a look at the daily. All right, and I suspect there's probably an equal gap up, although not as pronounced. Okay, but a gap up nonetheless, right? Not as pronounced gap up. Okay, but a gap up nonetheless. Okay, so we gapped up from say 54 up to 56. So a 2-point gap up. Okay. So you're welcome, Frizu. So what to make of this? Well, again, gap up indicates that there's a fair amount of pressure that the closing price was cheap. Okay. Or very fair, that to the point that they said, well, I'm willing to pay a little bit more for maybe the potential anticipated move that this market could have. Okay. So there's some participants out there feel that the 58.58 was a bargain. Okay. And as a result, that their view is that the market is going to continue higher from here. Okay. Now, if I follow that view and I look at what the market has done of late, well, I could target, I could say, okay, well, if that view is, that's the sentiment, this is the swing, this is the most recent swing, and this is the retracement of that swing. Yeah, we could easily go up to 6,000. Okay. We could easily go up to 6,000. In this case, Fibonacci is telling us it can go up to 6,005. Okay. Based on that swing, because again, this looks like this move here is merely a correction. Okay. A retracement of the most recent swing. Okay. So if we do break this channel to the upside, then I would say that we have a fair chance of getting back or getting up to 6,000. Okay. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay. Well, actually, as I go from daily to let's go move on to the 4-hour chart. Okay. So 4-hour chart, here we are inside that bearish channel that we spoke of. not really seeing much in the way of strong direction at this point. We have a kind of a waning ADX momentum indicator. Our volume delta is also pretty neutral. Okay, we have pretty much the equal number of sellers and buyers in this market, but again, we're about 10 minutes or 12 minutes away from the open, so that's all fair. Now, one thing that I will say, and as we kind of move into the 30-minute chart, is that looks like price is hovering around this value area high. Okay, this seems a little bit stronger to me than the Nasdaq. Okay, so if you remember, the Nasdaq was further inside value. Again, here's our gap from from the open. Okay, so again, if we do manage to close above value, again, that would be additional evidence that maybe there's more upside opportunity in this market. Okay, we are already above my 233-day EMA, which is the gold line here. Our ADX indicator really is not telling us anything at the moment. Neither is our volume delta. So this price action is not really being met with any sort of conviction or vigor. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our levels to this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add the levels that we're tracking in this market. So I'm going to go ahead and add this here. All right, so here we are. Okay, so this is our levels. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and remove this channel here for now, guys. It's too big of a range for me to really act on in the on the 30-minute chart. So like I said, we are hovering around value area high. What level am I talking about here? Well, it's the top end of this value area range. Okay, that I generated with my fixed volume profile. Okay, so right on top of value. Okay, so one of two things can happen. Either we're going to accept higher prices and head higher, or we're going to reverse down. We're going to reverse into value, okay, and traverse through value, maybe down at this level, maybe fill this gap, and then potentially reverse from there. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see in the next 10 minutes what kind of market or what kind of price action we end up getting. Okay, so right now I'm going to go ahead and spot check some of my levels. We are at ADR high, which is at 58.85. We have ADR low coming in at 58.28. We have what is it? ASR. I'm going to add here as well, but understand that ASR could change on me here. So let's see, make sure that's London. Yes, that's London. Okay, so here we are. We have ASR 58.96 is our ASR high. So we'll add that here. 58.96 is our ASR high, and that's even. And then ASR low is 58.54. 58.54. 50. All right. So again, this could adjust on me again as the market opens. All right. So let's see, value area high. Well, we're right at it right now at 58.79. We have value area low coming in at 58.35. All seems in order here. We're going to add our settlement price, which is coming in below us. Okay, so yeah, all our levels. So right now, again, I would say that we're in an area of decision. Okay, in this market, this value area high. So this could easily translate into, a reversal down from this level. If anchored VWAP, anchor VWAP is really not going to tell us all that much because we're kind of in range. But if I had to choose an area to draw my anchor VWAP, probably this level down here, but this is back from Friday. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add our anchor VWAP down in this level. Okay, that's an area that would be supportive. Didn't get much of a move during London. And if I do my anchor VWAP on top here, that would probably be the only place that I would consider it. see here. Right here, and I believe we're above it. Okay, so price is above that anchor VWAP, right? From London. Okay, kind of stretches out here so you guys can see. Okay, so as long as we remain above, then I would say that there's a fair opportunity to the upside. Okay, we are relatively close to our ADR high, which could be resistant. But you know, I think if we do close below this anchored VWAP and stay below value, then I would say that 58.54 is very much in the target range. The 15-minute is bullish. 15-minute doesn't look bullish to me. This looks like a very much a bearish candle at the moment. Okay. So we'll see. Yeah, 30, both the 30 and the 15. This is a relatively strong bullish candle. I would agree with you here. Okay. 4-hour candle. I don't have my overlays, but let's take a look at the 4-hour candle. That's also equally as, you know, we see some buying coming in here as well. Again, like I said, given the gap up, that's indicating that maybe there is some support for some upside price action. We have value area high as kind of our reference line. So if we can get price remains below our value area high, that could lead to price heading lower. If price gets above value, then I would say that we have opportunities to the upside. Okay. All right. So that's, I think, what I have for the ES. I was going to go ahead and take a quick look at the Dow here. All right. We're going to take a quick look at the Dow, and we'll go ahead and close down this review. So we'll go ahead and open up the Dow and see what we can see. We're going to remove our drawings. We're going to shut down some of our indicators, which is right now quite busy. Okay. All right. So give us a little bit more clarity here. Again, same gap up that we saw in the opens for both the NASDAQ and the S&P are evident in the Dow as well. We're going to go ahead and move to the daily, see that a little bit more up and close. All right. So here we are. We didn't quite get a gap up, but we opened up inside, very much inside this bearish candle, right? So, so obviously this is an area that, you know, this move here is supportive, right? With volume, as well as not quite on the DI side, although we do see a waning kind of DI, negative DI. Okay. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we see that price is above our EMA, above our daily VWAP. Okay. So indicating that maybe there is some upside opportunity available in the Dow. 30-minute chart. Okay, this is kind of when we start to do our little bit of our volume analysis here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. I'm going to locate the 930 bar from Friday, drag to that to the 430 bar on, and then here we are, right in this, right smack in the middle of value. Okay, so so again, probably want to remain a little bit patient. Okay, on this, we do see the positive DI kind of wanting to cross above the ADX indicator, really not giving us an indication that there's any kind of strength on this, although the volume delta is saying that there's a fair amount of volume that's coming into the upside in this market. Okay, we have the market that's going to open up here in about 26 minutes. Going to open up here in about 4 minutes. Okay, so we're going to capture our ADR levels here. So ADR high is at 42,563, 42,563. That's our ADR high. Okay, ADR high. Okay, we're gonna go value here. Value area high is a little bit higher here at 42,655. 42,655 is our value area high. We have value area low coming in at 42,244. 42,244 is our value area low. We have point of control coming in at 42,293. 42,293 is our POC. And then our settlement price is below us here at 42,285. 42,285 is our settlement price. And then really the only thing that remains here is our ASR here. And our ASR, let's go ahead and move this to London. Okay, for now. And we have ASR here at, oh, shoot, did I just blow away my, I blew away my levels. All right. Okay, well, I think you captured most of those levels. Sorry, guys, but I, as in the process of adding my ASR, I lost my levels here. Okay, but you can see that we are inside value. Initial balance is going to open up here in about a couple of minutes. We do have our positive DI getting above our negative DI. Our ADX indicator really hasn't, I guess technically it's kind of starting to show signs that it wants to head higher, and that would give us some conviction to the upside in this market. Okay, looking at the 4-hour chart here is developing a bullish candle, so that could lead us to say indicate that maybe price is looking to head higher. So I'd like to see price get above this ADR high. And maybe if it does do that, then maybe I would be open to participate on any sort of pullback that it makes above. Okay, so if it does manage to get above this, then any sort of pullback back to ADR high might be in order. But for now, I would say that we need to be patient, wait for this initial balance to establish here in the next minute or so. Well, begin, I say, not establish, but begin, and remain patient. Okay, so that's what I have to share with the market, guys. So again, as you make your way out of the room, don't be shy about hitting the like and subscribe. Also would encourage you to view the recordings that I have available on my YouTube channel. Okay, take a view of some of the most recent. Certainly, you maybe a revisit or review of the pre-market session. I hope to add some short videos on some trades that I take here over the next few days to give you some further context as to how I do and what I do in order to arrive at opportunities. Okay, so we have the market has opened. Okay, so we have our initial balance range that's beginning to establish here. So we'll like I said, I'm going to be waiting for this initial balance range to establish. My my attention initially is going to be on gold because of the fact that gold has now officially established their initial balance range. So we'll see what kind of opportunities present themselves in gold. Otherwise, otherwise, unless there's any questions, we're going to go ahead and close off the session. Wishing you guys a solid trading session. Okay. So so trade well, trade safe, trade like a market pro, or trade like a pro, be a market trader. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for your support and continued support. So again, don't be shy with the likes as you exit the room, and comment where you can, where you feel that it's supportive of your view of the markets here. Okay. All right, guys. So that's it for me. Let's go ahead. We'll close off and sharing, and wish everybody a safe, trade safe, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'll see some of you in the coaches room on the Top Step server at Coach Ray. Others maybe later this afternoon during group coaching. I'll be there as well. So until then, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader, guys. Have a good day.